Sit up front, young lady. I was. But I wasn't. I mean, I didn't do anything.
That's my point.
Because you wanted to do it, it was still wrong. Meanwhile, the attorney says that's the way we're going to do it, and you say to the attorney, no, we're not. The city not responsible because you built it for the commission, so you don't have to pay anything. The city, but the city had to pay the legal fees and fines.
And he was directing the whole thing as we did, because we did go through the whole process. We don't know the specifics and details of how the process is.
Right, sometimes, you know, man, done it, that's how I knew that. No, you just do it there, you don't take it on, you know, you don't take it, you always do it right there. You could take
Everyone, I'd like to call the special Board of Commissioners meeting of February 6, 2019 to order at 7 o'clock. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Vice Mayor Weinstein,
Here.
Commissioner Hodges,
Here.
Commissioner Douther,
Present.
Okay. The first order is the public comment this evening. If anybody would like to come to the microphone, please come up and state your name, your address, and limit your time to 3 minutes. And please remember that if you're addressing the item on the agenda, please wait until that agenda item comes up. Is there anybody who would like to address the commission? Yes.
Reese Noren, 363 Medallion Boulevard, still your closest neighbor. Good evening. I want to speak on the topic of the audit or audits. The night that the extra money was requested because it was not in the budget, the board, requested to have $35,000 added to the $15,000 for a total of $50,000 to conduct an audit. Those funds were approved, and the gentleman who actually contracted for the service did not request an audit. They requested an inquiry, and therefore we did not get an audit for the $50,000 that was approved. We got a forensic investigation instead, and there is a wide difference between the two. So I would like to know who authorized the $50,000 for the forensic investigation. In addition to that, the $35,000 the night it was approved was listed under old business. It was not old business as far as the electorate was concerned or the public, because we had never seen it before. So it was not really done in the sunshine. It was approved before the meeting ever started, and I don't believe that's the way it's supposed to be. So I would like to know what I would do with this, what you think I should do with this information. The question is rhetorical. I'm not looking for an answer. What I'm suggesting is that when you go home tonight, before you go to bed, think of what I should do with the information that I have collected, which is not in accordance with the rules as I understand them. Thank you very much.
Robert Preston, 425 South Bayshore Drive, Madeira Beach. So I just had a brief discussion with the city manager, and this is reference to the fire that we had at BOC Avenue in that area. And for the public and for the ones that don't realize, the first fire truck that was there was a Seminole fire truck. It was not a Madeira Beach fire truck. So your Madeira Beach fire department is still using a $1 million fire truck with 4 people on it to go to medical calls that takes 1 or 2 people to go to these medical calls. We talked about a quick response truck which would allow 2 of your firefighters or medics respond to these medical incidents. And in a situation like this, where there's a fire, they can do a lot to set up before the other firefighters come and assist to fight the fire. And your job is to provide safety to this city. And by not acting on a quick response truck, you're failing the city to do that. The fire chief said that he needed more people, and that is not true. I also talked to the lieutenant. He said that is not true. They can do it with the personnel that they have. So a quick response truck is $70,000. You send 2 people, and you don't run $1 million truck up and down the road for medical calls and wear it out, so you have to get another $1 million truck. So I think you need to look closely at these response times and what's going on with the fire department. I think they tried to do a good job. I just think they're managed improperly. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, well, the public comment section is now closed. The next item on the agenda is the resolution. I would ask the city clerk to please read Resolution 2019-02 in its entirety.
Okay. Resolution 2019-02. The Board of Commissioners of the City of Madeira Beach publicly censoring and reprimanding City Commissioner Nancy Oakley as a result of the final order by the Florida Commission on Ethics on Friday, January 25th, 2019, providing for severability, providing for repealer, providing for an effective date. Whereas the Board of Commissioners for the City of Madeira Beach accepts the resignation of City Commissioner Nancy Oakley, and whereas the Board of Commissioners accepts the final order as provided by the Florida Commission on Ethics, and whereas the behavior referenced in the report of investigation occurred between 2012 to 2013, and complaint 17-013 was received by the Florida Commission on Ethics on February 2nd, 2017, and whereas the City of Madeira Beach and the Board of Commissioners censors the behavior and actions communicated in the document supporting the Florida Commission on Ethics final order, and whereas the Board of Commissioners reviews this behavior as unsuitable and unbecoming of a member of its collegial body, and whereas the actions communicated in the final order are in direct conflict with the Board of Commissioners' adopted legislative policies, and whereas the actions and behavior displayed are inconsistent with the City of Madeira Beach's Resolution 2018-02, whereby inappropriate behavior can lead to removal, and whereas the actions communicated in this final order are in direct conflict with Resolution 2018-08, City of Madeira Beach mission, vision, and organizational values, whereby the city believes in the preservation of the public's trust and ensures this through ethical behavior and decision making, and whereas transparency is a core value of the city and it intends to protect and preserve honest governance to maintain the public's trust and confidence, and whereas the Board of Commissioners of the City of Madeira Beach hereby publicly censors City Commissioner Nancy Oakley for behavior unbecoming of an elected official and accepts her resignation immediately, providing for severability, providing for repealer, providing for an effective date. Now therefore be it resolved by the City of Madeira Beach, introduced and adopted by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Madeira Beach this 6th day of February 2019.
Thank you, City Clerk. Do you have anything to add to that before the Board of Commissioners departs, City Manager?
Yes, Madam Vice Mayor. I also think it's germane to read Commissioner Oakley's letter of resignation into the official record as well, and then I will have some brief remarks. I would ask if the clerk can do that.
To residents of Madeira Beach, Board of Commissioners, City of Madeira Beach, City of Madeira Beach. In an effort to still the controversy for the residents of Madeira Beach, the Board of Commissioners, the City of Madeira Beach, and for myself, I have made the incredibly difficult decision to resign as Commissioner District 3. I was honored to be elected by more than 61% of the voters and have enjoyed the privilege of serving as Commissioner for the last 2 years and 6 years in the past. While the Commission on Ethics has made their decision, I maintain my innocence and am pursuing the paths of appeals available. With that being said, it is time for us all to move on. Everything I did in all my tenures as Commissioner was for the residents of Madeira Beach. There was no hidden agenda. I want to thank the residents of Madeira Beach, the Board of Commissioners, and the City of Madeira Beach for their support. I want you to know that I am proud of the work we have done together. I pray for a kind and candid election season. God bless America, Madeira Beach.
Thank you, City Clerk. City Manager?
Madam Vice Mayor, staff is recommending approval of Resolution 2019-02, accepting the resignation of City Commissioner Nancy Oakley and publicly censuring and reprimanding Commissioner Oakley. This is pursuant to the findings that were communicated in the final order by the Florida Commission on Ethics. At this particular moment, and after staff's review, there is substantial substantial evidence that's enclosed in the report, and the Commission on Ethics have made a determination that Chapter 112.3136 of Florida State Statutes has been violated associated with the findings contained in the report, which is official misuse of public position. And at this time, staff recommends approval of Resolution 2019-02.
Thank you, City Manager. Okay, the next step is board deliberation, the Board of Commissioners, and then we'll go to public comment. So, someone like to start off?
I would just like to take this time to kind of thank Nancy for her service for the last 2 years and the previous 6 years. I think she did a nice job while she was sitting up here. I thought she had the City of Madeira Beach at heart with her decisions. So I just wanted to say thank you, Nancy Oakley.
To me, this is a very sad day for Madeira Beach. I regret that we have to go through this. It's not a good time for any of us. I do believe that Nancy did try to do her best while she was a commissioner. Her and I evidently never really saw eye to eye on a lot of topics that were brought about. But I do feel that, again, it's a very sad time, and I just hope that she can move forward and get the help that she needs. That's all.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I would just like to say that I believe that this resolution, as presented, does provide closure, and I think it's very important for our city to move on. I think the most important thing, and I think most everybody in this room knows that or will know it, is that any elected official, our first allegiance is to the City of Madeira Beach, to the government, and for good, honest governance. So with that, I would leave it up to the public. If you have any comments, we'll be happy to listen to you.
Helen Price, 13319 Boca Ciega Avenue, Madeira Beach, Florida. Like you, Commissioner Hodges, I'm very saddened to be up here. We now know that in May of 2017, a month after being sworn into office, Mayor Black, Commissioner Doert, and Commissioner Oakley all voted to terminate our former city manager, knowing he had filed this ethics complaint that we're discussing tonight. Not only was this a conflict of interest, it is retaliation, it was wrong. Where was the leadership? Where was the ethical government we were promised by the 3 new commissioners and the mayor? This administration has recently made much of the tone at the top, stating in the Marina audit that the tone at the top refers to the ethical atmosphere that is created in the workplace by the organization's leadership. Whatever tone management sets will have a trickle-down effect on the employees of the company. That audit concluded that the previous administration was unethical. Gee, we know now who was unethical, don't we? Frankly, it's most of the current commission. What a failure at the top we have seen. I love Madeira Beach. I love living here. I've got really cool neighbors, beautiful sunsets, love the salt water, but I miss the way it was. I miss the fun this city promoted in the past. I am sick and tired of the embarrassing headlines created by the majority of this commission, and it is time for a change.
Somebody else?
Robert Preston, 425 South Bayshore Drive, Madeira Beach. This has come so late for her to leave office. I was running a recall to have 2 individuals up here removed from office for poor behavior and things that they had done. Nancy Oakley is the elephant in the room. But Maggie Black, John Douthert, and now Debbie Weinstein all knew that Oakley had these ethics complaints against her. She should not have voted on any personnel matters whatsoever. I find, especially Maggie Black and John Douthert, just as culpable as Nancy Oakley in this, because they allowed her behavior to continue, her attitude, and the things that she was doing to destroy the city. So I find that the other 3, and Ms. Weinstein, I think you're in that camp now as well, should have done something a long time ago and asked her to leave office. But you had a vote, and that's all you cared about. You weren't caring about the city. You had vendettas that you wanted to take, and you did, and you succeeded. And you hurt this city. Most of what this city is in the newspapers is bad news. I'm with Ms. Price. I would love to be part of a city that's in the news for good things, not dirt and garbage, which much of this commission is part of. Thank you.
Yes?
Doreen Moore, 13019 Boca Ciega Avenue. I disagree with a lot of the comments that have been made, and I am here to speak that I do support our current commission. I do think that you have all faced difficult times, and I think that the fact that we are hearing people say tonight that you should have removed Commissioner Oakley previously, we have a judicial system. Our system works on the basis that You're not guilty until you're found guilty by the ruling judicial system, in this case, the Ethics Commission. So when they did rule, you took action appropriately, and tonight you've accepted the resignation and you've publicly sanctioned. We're hearing that the prior administration is the person and the people who have been dragging this city through the dirt, that has been drumming up the newspapers, that have been keeping things out here in the forefront and negative impact because they want to return to power in this city. We haven't talked. Price, you didn't speak about the ethics complaint that was filed against Shane Crawford. You haven't spoken about how he was found to have violated and permanently removed from the ICMA. We've heard people talk about that that's not important. The ICMA is a very important organization. So those things are out there. I don't know how you can stand here and say that the prior administration did everything right and that they were ethical and above board when we have a commission that has tried to right the wrongs and go forward. We need to bury this tonight. Somebody mentioned the elephant in the room. Well, the elephant's gone. So let's bring the city forward, work together, and have some cohesive representation and let these people do their jobs and what they've set out to do. Thank you.
Anyone else?
John Hendricks, 569 Normandy Road. I wasn't going to speak tonight. I thought everything had been said pretty well. I was committee chair of a group back in 2011 that tried to get Nancy Oakley out of office. She ran away. Most all of our staff back then caused enormous problems for this city. Then Madeira Beach United got together, some of which are sitting right up there right now. The other ones are sitting in this audience that have caused this city numerous problems by one thing they pushed for, and mainly for selfish reasons, to get the building dropped a level to try to not have their view blocked. All they accomplished in doing that was having some nice green space taken up, because as the building goes down, it goes out, and we lose green space. So we lost a lot of the beautification we were going to have. Now, instead of 150 feet between the building, you've got 40 feet between a building. So you really didn't accomplish anything, and you still can't see over it. I can't see over my neighbor's house in front of me because it's 2 stories tall. So, also Madeira Beach United, one of the folks that's in that just spoke, and she's with TRS Realty. She's going to bring up things about Mr. Crawford. One of the things that was brought up about Mr. Crawford was that he was renting, apparently in an apartment building that Mr. Carnes owns. As I understand it, Mr. Evans is renting property from TRS Realty. It's the same thing. So, you know, let's quit having double standards, and let's try to help Madeira Beach, because the things that have been done here have been done for personal, selfish reasons. They have not been done for the good of Madeira Beach.
Thank you. I would like to ask that all speakers do speak and address the item at hand, and that we don't deviate from that. So who would like to speak next? Okay.
Steve Kochick, 15301 2nd Street East, Madeira Beach. I was very saddened to see that two people were missing off the board tonight. One, Nancy, would have been nice if she would have came and read the apology herself, or at least given an apology, not a denial. The facts are in. For the mayor not to show up, that was kind of, that really wasn't the leadership that I would have chosen to find. I served with Nancy. We both got elected at the same time, the first time that she ran. So I've sat next to her at meetings, at workshops through the years. What this happened here, I was there that night before it happened during the day. I don't want to speak down. I don't want to go any further with this. What it's time is, has been said, is it's time now for the beaches, Madeira Beach, to come together. The only way it's going to come together is if we go back to being the truth and being out in the open. These things that are going on, it just smells. It has that odor to it that is a stench that has permeated the city for years and years and years. And it just continues on and on. New people come, new people go, but it just keeps coming and coming and coming. And as long as it stays that way, Madeira Beach will always be the laughingstock of Pinellas County. This board has accomplished zero in the 2 years that they're there. They've accomplished zero. Now, one road has been repaved. Nothing has been done with the undergrounding. Money's been lost. And what do we have? We've lost personnel again. Do you know how many people that we've lost in the last couple of years since this all started? We just lose them left and right. Good people getting drummed out of here. Why? They are professionals. And once again, certain people in this city just do not listen to the professionals. They think that they know better. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You don't. I've spoken with each of you, and I've presented you facts, and I brought you to professional people, and I've heard you say, no, they don't know what they're talking about. Believe me, people of Madeira Beach, the change has to come, and it's going to have to come through the voting booth. You want to vote for the people that are in? Stay with them. If you want change, you'll know what to do. Thank you.
I would like to state again that this is not a political forum, and that we stay germane to the resolution, please. Okay? Is that correct, City Attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. My name's Terry Lister. I live at 338 BOC Special Drive here in Madeira Beach. And I just also want to reiterate that I'm disappointed in Maggie. Our mayor should be here. She leads our city. She has for the last almost 2 years. Well, she's been in that chair. Okay. She's been in that chair. But, you know, in Nancy Oakley's letter, she says it's time to move on. You know, I would love for the city to move on. I really would. I sat up here in this chair, and for 10 years, I worked at nothing but moving this city forward, making it a better place for not only myself, but for my grandkids. My daughter is going to get my house. I'm going to stay here in Madeira Beach for a long, long, long time. This is where I'm going to die. Okay. But moving on, really? You've just done nothing. Not for the last year I sat in that chair. It was a 3-2 vote. There was nothing accomplished in my last year as city commissioner, and nothing has been done in 2 years. This is 3 years, going on 3 years that this city is simply not done anything. You got yes men. That's what you got. You got yes men, and that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. Mike Maximo was the public works director when I first got here. Nancy Oakley came to office and she got rid of Mike Maximo. Shane Crawford was city manager. Nancy Oakley got rid of Shane Crawford. Dave Marsicana just resigned. Those are called institutional people. Those are people that know a lot about the city. And every time Nancy got up here, she got rid of them. She just didn't want any institutional knowledge. She wanted yes men, and that's what she's got. She's got yes men, and that's bad for the city. Somebody needs to take the reins here. Somebody's got to take the reins and make Madeira Beach a better place to live, because it's not. It's not. Can you not see what you've done here? Nothing, absolutely nothing, and that is terrible. I am so disappointed in the mayor not being here. I am so disappointed in Miss Oakley not being here. But that is her MO. That is her method of operation. She's done it for years. And I just want you to know that I'm not happy with you guys. I'm just not happy with you guys, and I'm certainly not happy with Nancy. And moving on, yes, you know what she needs to do is move out. She needs to move out, not move on. That's what I'd prefer her to do.
Yes, is there anyone else? Yes. All right.
I was not intending to speak on this topic tonight either. Reese Noren, 363 Medallion Boulevard, still your closest neighbor. Like some of those who have spoken before me, I'm very disappointed that it had to come to this tonight. It all could have been avoided had we thought of love instead of hate, instead of revenge, instead of retribution. The topic should have been what is best for our city. We should have come together before. I'm hoping we now come together. I am not one who likes to hate. I love freedom. I love my country. I love this town. And I don't hate people who have different opinions. But this commission has not accepted any other opinions. And in fact, they have derided the previous administrations, which caused this building to be here instead of a building that was falling apart. The infrastructure was done by a group for about 5 years. And I'm new here. I've only been here 33 years. And the group that was in there for 5 years did more in their 5 years than all the other years before. So I think they should be respected, but they're not. There's a code that finally got printed, Resolution 8, I believe, of 2018 was your vision. But the vision has been basically ignored. It was passed in June, and it didn't get put up until January, which means it wasn't really paid much attention to. Lip service was about all it got. You have created an environment that my dictionary calls cronyism. Now, cronyism is not illegal, but it is not a healthy way to run a city. And I think this is a good time to come together. I don't know who's going to be elected, and I don't know who's going to be reelected, but I would hope that they would have a new vision rather than trying to continue the fighting and the insults and the bickering back and forth. Think big instead of small. Your vision is supposed to be a broad vision, not telling people how to live their life and not criticizing them for living a life that's different than yours. Thank you.
My name is Linda Hine. I live at 401 150th Avenue. I sure didn't want to come up here today. I'm a friend of Nancy's. She's told me that this didn't happen. That's beside the point. She was found guilty, and she's decided to resign, and the process calls for her to be censured. And the commissioners are doing what they were supposed to do in this. I think this is a step that we can go forward and make a less divisive city. I think the commission has done a lot of good things, and I'm not going to go through all of them because people here, some groups, don't believe it anyway. but there's a lot of citizens out there that are aware of the good things you've done and the good things you'll continue to do. And I'm just sorry this whole thing happened this way, but this is still a good city, and we have a step right now that we can move forward. And since Nancy's not here and the elephant's not in the room, then maybe we can make things better and proceed with what the steps are we need to take, and hopefully not bash the commission every time there's a meeting. Anyway, thank you very much. Sorry this is happening.
I'm Roger Pryor at 223 144th Avenue. I'm not even looking for a pound of flesh from one side or another. It appears we have a resolution. The verdict is in, and we got to move forward. It's not about one side of this room or another. It seems like we're back to the Baptist church on one side and the other family on the other. But I'm not a part of this yet. I am running for the commission in District 3, but I really see that we got to move forward. The commission has done their work. They followed the laws as I said, and to sit here and hash it out for more and more times is not going to serve anybody any good. So let's try to get over this and move forward. I know it's ugly. Hopefully it won't be ugly anymore. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak on the issue?
Bill Gay, 423 150th Avenue, Madeira Beach, Florida. I thought in the resolution, I think you talked about transparency as being a part of a value that the city has. And I'd like to just run through some of the things that have occurred here with the previous administration. There have been 11 adverse filings against the city, against various city officials. Can't hear it?
Sorry. Point of order cannot be done by anybody in the audience.
There have been 11 adverse decisions against the city over the last several years. Most of those belong to the prior commission. Nancy was part of one of those. This is the first time that any of these violations that occurred have come before the board here for any kind of discussion by the city. All this stuff has been kept out of the city's atmosphere and basically done in the shade. But let me just repeat what's happened here. There have been 3 ethics violations that have been found against city officials, one of those against Nancy, and then against 2 other officials, being Shane Crawford is one, Daryl O'Neill another. None of this stuff has come before the board for any discussion. There have been 2 filings. There have been 2 filings with...
Wait just a minute, please, Mr. Gay. Other people have spoken, and they've said exactly what they wanted to say, so Mr. Gay is allowed to speak on his behalf.
You said that we should keep to the topic.
But nobody kept to the topic.
Okay.
Sorry, nobody kept to the topic. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead.
You'll probably have to give me a little more time back. The Florida Election Commission, there were 2 adverse rulings, well, 1 adverse ruling against the city by the Florida Election Commissions. One was the appointment of Ingrid Sildy Farrow to the Board of Commissioners. She falsified her election materials. She did not live in her district, but was appointed to the City Commission anyway. There's also 2 pending violations by 2 of the speakers here this evening who represented Respect Mac Beach. That's being invested currently by the Florida Election Commission. There have been 4 rulings by the Pinellas County Circuit Court regarding the city. Probably the most serious one of those was a sunshine violation against the appointment of Hushko Vey. Palladino, Lister, Hodges were found to have violated the Florida Sunshine Act. We still have one of those people sitting on the commission right now. There's been no discussion of that by the city whatsoever. There's been no publication of the ruling by the court, ruling by the judges on that case. There was a public records violation by Tom Trask, where he held public records from the citizens. The city lost that lawsuit also, and there's been no recognition of that in any of these commission meetings. The Madeira Beach Town Center development, there was an adverse ruling on that by the Pinellas County Circuit Court. It was by 3 judges on that court.
That's it. That's it. Thank you.
I request.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments, sir. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you, but to my sense, this is a kangaroo court. We've had 11 adverse.
Stop. Stop. I will have to ask.
The commission.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Ann Rayo, 557 Crystal Drive. Been a resident of this great community for the last 24 years. I love it. I've seen great things happen. But one thing that really bothers me is when you come across a neighbor or in a situation like this, and somebody disagrees with you, why do you have to bring up stuff from the past? We're here, be here and now in this moment. How are we ever going to move forward if you keep digging up dirt from the past? Let's learn from that and just keep moving on.
Right.
Make the city a better place. You know, what Mr. Gay just did, in my opinion, was when you disagree with somebody, you just dig up the dirt. What's the point? Anyway, enough. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Okay. It's closed, and I'd like to know if the Board of Commissioners would like to make any further comments before I ask for a motion on the resolution. Yes? City Manager?
Madam Vice Mayor, just to provide some context why we're having this discussion this evening and why we believe that the passage of this resolution is an important item. When we convened over the summer months to talk about the organization's mission, vision, and core values and what was important to this Board of Commissioners and the residents, ethics and integrity was at the forefront of that. And so we crafted the organization's mission, vision, and core values. And as we went through this process and waited for due process to run its course, it was the decision of staff to begin having the conversation as to how do we begin the healing process and how do we move forward as an organization. We believe that this resolution encapsulates the elements found in the final order. We believe that it shows that this Board of Commissioners, as difficult as this situation may be, is in a place where they can self-govern and self-police themselves. The governor's office, Tallahassee, did not say that this board needed to adopt a resolution or take action. It's predicated on us doing the right thing despite who's watching. And it's important for us as an organization to move forward in such a manner because it shows that we are willing to hold ourselves to a higher standard. And that's why it's important that those elements and those comments that are on the wall in the back of this room really mean something. And I can tell you no city manager or no administrator would ever want to be in a situation where they're recommending an item to their board to censure and reprimand one of their elected officials. But we believe that this is the right thing for the organization to do and shows that we are committed to moving the organization forward. This puts closure to it, and that this type of behavior is something that we as an organization will not accept and will not tolerate from all ranks of the organization. And so staff is prepared to move forward, to work hand in hand with the community, because we are a community that has resources that other communities would die to have. There's nowhere in Madeira Beach where you cannot walk in 30 seconds and be able to see the water. We live in absolute paradise. And so we must learn to work together for the betterment of this organization and to understand that it's always about the city first. It always has, it always will be, and for the preservation of this government, it has to be that way. And so staff is here to request that the board accept the resignation and pass Resolution 2019-02.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Are there any other comments from the Board of Commissioners? Okay, well, may I have a motion, please, to accept Resolution 2019, oops, wait a minute. I missed the piece of paper, 2019-02 on first reading.
I make a motion to accept Resolution 2019-02 in its entirety.
And I'll second.
Thank you. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Douther,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Weinstein.
Yes. That concludes our special.
Madam Vice Mayor, before we
Yes.
conclude, I would like just kind of to read
That's
something.
fine, that's fine.
Kind of sitting around today, I kind of wrote down some notes and some things I would like to kind of say. As I sit here tonight looking at the Ethics Commission rulings, I would like to tell you how I feel. 2 years ago, I decided to run for City Commissioner because of the way I believe the city was being taken down the wrong path. Our previous city manager, Mr. Crawford, had been censored and permanently expelled from the ICMA for failure to uphold the ethics principle. At that time, I was appalled the mayor and commissioners ignored this directive and endorsed his actions and behavior. Some of the same people who wanted Nancy Oakley gone for various reasons supported and even wanted to keep Mr. Crawford and even have him return. Thank you.
Any other comments? No? Okay. Well, I think all of our business has been concluded tonight. I'd like to adjourn the meeting at 7:47.